For the love of Genova, can someone please transport me to the timeline where Square-Enix doesn't keep making the worst decisions they can with the Final Fantasy franchise? In case you haven't heard, in 2021, Square-Enix announced Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, an effort to consolidate the extended universe of Final Fantasy VII into one game, including Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. And this actually sounds like a great idea, which at first glance looks to be a really beautiful and enticing remaster, which I find way more exciting than the upcoming second installment in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, or shall we say, retcon franchise. I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Final Fantasy VII Remake. For me, it was less Final Fantasy and more final coffin nail for the series overall, which has been on a steady decline for a while now. I haven't even bothered to look at, much less play, Intergrade, nor am I interested in playing Final Fantasy XVI, which I will likely just wait until it comes out on PC. At this point, I just find it hard to care about any upcoming Final Fantasy games, and so it came as quite a shock to me when I caught some of the clips from the Ever Crisis trailer, which actually looks pretty good. I almost couldn't believe my eyes. Is it finally happening? Are they finally just going to make a good, modern Final Fantasy VII remaster? And the answer appears to be no, for iOS and Android.
You raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir. Bravo!
And if that weren't terrible enough, it's going to be released episodically.
Why would you do that?
I mean, was anybody asking for this? Hello, son. My daughter tells me you're a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. Yes, sir. I sure hope the remaster is episodic and exclusive to smartphones. You have exactly 10 seconds to get the f*** out of my house. And to make matters worse, it's going to be a gacha game. Final Fantasy VII with goddamn loot boxes. A goddamn gacha game. Ugh. Just release it to console and PC in one game, as a one-off purchase, like every other respectable game, with none of this gacha, dystopian loot box garbage. I mean, let's put it this way, I still haven't bought a PS5 yet. There's nothing really on that console that I care about. But if this remaster came out exclusively on the PS5 as one complete game that I could buy in one purchase and play from start to finish, I would consider buying a PS5. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna wager that pretty much any Final Fantasy VII fan would much prefer a complete remaster that they can play from start to finish with a controller on a decent gaming platform with a decent TV or monitor and a decent sound system, not through a f***ing tiny touchscreen with no other controls and the audio quality of a smartphone. I've said it before and I will say it again, Square-Enix is out of touch. They need someone outside their inner circle, someone who understands what made these games great in the 90s, and this person needs to be vigilantly at the ready with a ruler to slap their hand every time they have one of these really bad ideas, which is apparently going to happen like a lot. We should remaster Final Fantasy VII. I'm listening. And release it episodically.
Ouch!
As a gacha game.
Ow!
Exclusively to smartphones. One of the most highly anticipated remakes of one of the greatest video games of all time, relegated to a bait-and-switch retcon, and now its remaster relegated to a smartphone gacha game. In closing, the unified weight of every facepalm on the internet would still not be enough to convey my contempt for the modern treatment of Final Fantasy VII. Like and subscribe.